Slovenia. And yesterday, Slovenia has held the show, has had shows since late November, actually. Let's get back to it. Like, it was crazy. And all the way up until last night, and where everything would be finally decided. We're finally done. Quick before we get to that. So it started back with the EMA Frez, is that here said back in late November, as pointed out. Lots of artists competed in order to secure 4 spots with remaining 16 pre-qualified entries. And then all of that concluded in mid-January with 20 acts selected and to perform in the main show. And then earlier this month in February, 20 acts were separated into 2 semifinals, with 10 of them performing in each. And then with 6 acts qualifying from each semifinal, resulting in the final consisting of 12 acts. They performed, and then a combined jury and televote results would decide the winner. The results would then, the jury was revealed first. Batista Cadillac managed to place on top of the scoreboard, getting 50 points with the juries. And then points where, the rest we'll talk about it in a moment. But in the end, things changed a little when the televotes came in. And in the end, we had a different winner. And it is LPS with Disko. They won it all, and they will now represent Slovenia in Turin with the song, as I said, Disko. They're in the first half of the first semifinal on May 10th. Clearly a long journey ahead of them, because, there will be plenty of things to talk about, staging and what they can do. And there were a lot of other acts that are probably disappointed for not winning, but that's just how the cookie crumbles. You cannot always win. Am I right? So let's talk about this. And I feel bad, Gabe. I always let you go first on this one. I'll go first. No, actually, yeah, I'll go first. I already said it. So here's the thing. I did my video as well, my top 10. And one thing was super annoying is several of my friends got copyright strikes on YouTube unfairly, because it's part of, what's the term I'm looking for? When you use material on YouTube, but it's part of covering the information.
Fair use.
Fair use. Thank you. I forgot the word. Fair use. And it completely falls under it, and you can come there. But there was one group of the BQL team that just took them all down, right? And really hurt these channels, and was really upsetting to see that. So I didn't even do a reaction video. I just did a top 10 video to avoid from that happening. So I just want to shout out, like, how dare you? It is just unfair that you do that. They actually go manually in and then decide, okay, I want to hurt this channel by giving them a strike, right? So and it was mostly just applied to where they received criticism. So yeah, was not cool. But anyway, so LPS won in the end, and I did my videos pointed out, and LPS was probably my number 7 or 8. And I made comments like, it is a little bit too difficult for me to get into a song that is a disco song called Disko. I just have a major problem with that. I just thought they tried to pick every cliche about that genre and put it into that song. And I know Slovenia always select songs at random. It seems like they just throw darts and then, oh, we hit that one. That's the one we're going to choose. You just never know what they're gonna send. And that's how I feel about this. Like, I didn't see that one coming from a mile. Of course, the fan favorite was Luma, All In. And I like that song as well. And I probably would have, not probably, I most certainly would have preferred it. My personal favorite, I knew wasn't going to win Manouche. But I love that song to pieces. So, but I'm glad it didn't do as bad as some people thought it would. So I'm happy about that. July Jones was another popular song, but ultimately I was surprised. I can't get into the Slovenian song, unfortunately, but it's a Slovenian's choice, and you got to respect that. And the guys were clearly very, very happy. I'm worried about Slovenia at Eurovision in terms of qualification, because I just don't think there is a major mass appeal there. So that is unfortunate. But yeah, I'm trying to get into the song, but I have too many issues. The cliche and the trying too hard piece to me, and it's just melodically, and I find the orchestra just a whole not a good production value to me. It sounds very meh to me, and as much as I wanted to root for Slovenia, it's hard for me to get into the song. But you can't like them all, and that's just how it goes. Gabe. What do you have?
So, Matt, I want to paint you a picture. Imagine you have the most incredible buffet laid out in front of you. You know, every kind of fruit and vegetable and meat and fish and chocolate cake and all sorts, all laid out in front of you. And you walk over to the table, and all you pick up is this one slightly soggy red onion that came out of my kebab that I ate for dinner half an hour ago.
And you kept it all the way here just to make a point. That's
Yes,
gross.
I did.
Okay, go ahead.
That is what Slovenia have done.
That's commitment.
This was such a good national final. Why did you do this to us? Luma was right there. Girls Can Do Anything was right there. To be honest, I enjoyed Naked by Lea Lian, and I actually liked Tu and Stai as well. And they instead went for this. It's like it's like you went to the second-hand store and bought I Can't Believe It's Not Latvia. It's just that, but less polished, more generic. There's all of these things on offer, and they've gone with something so underwhelming. It's just frustrating. If your system is producing these results, then you should change the system because your public has no tastes.
It's funny.
Just pick it internally.
Well, quick, Kenneth makes a funny statement. LPS apparently sent her last pizza slice. It makes sense. They're going to Italy. So it's like the last pizza slice that was left. Do you think then the juries, if it was 100% jury vote, would have you felt better about their choices? Because they didn't pick the ones you chose either. Because their favorite was Batista.
Well, they're wrong as well. Because my opinions are just objectively correct. But
it's science.
Yeah, exactly. They voted on that at the science convention, and that's now approved. No, to be honest, I just don't. I personally think that the system it's getting good songs are getting entered into this competition. They're just not making it through. How many years is it going to be before we see Slovenia send a package to Eurovision that can actually do really well? You know, I think that and somebody's just said in chat that the Slovenia and Croatia should go internal. To be honest, yeah, I agree.
But then look at what happened last year. It was internal technically, right? So, but it was different because the singer was already chosen. It's a slightly different context there. Yeah, that is true.
Although, actually, to be fair, Voda, if it had been Voda, I thought that was actually very good. That was sailing through to the final, no problem, in my view.
Yeah, I think that was definitely a contender for qualification. I completely agree with that. Everything you said, I basically agree with you. And somebody's like, Slovenia hardly ever picks the favorite, right? The fan favorite. It's like, I'm like flabbergasted. Like, this is the one. It really seems like, I don't know why they gravitated towards that one. Maybe because the youngster crowd voted for it, or really they're popular. You just never, ever know. I just don't get it. So yes, maybe Slovenia should pick internally, but I'm still not certain they would do the right choice either, because when you get the juries, you know, even there, I was kind of questioning their taste there. So I don't know what they can do. I agree, Luma All In probably would have been, but I like Girls Can Do Anything. It was just, I like the sass to that song. And I guess I like that one as well. So I was definitely rooting for those a lot. It was BQL, of course. They've been fan favorites for a long time. They didn't do quite well. Did you like that song at all?
It didn't stick in my mind. It didn't quite, I don't know, I didn't quite get on board with it. I think the problem that you mentioned, I did, the one you mentioned, Girls Can Do Anything. And actually the thing that I think is that basically for years now, broadcasters and the general public have been frantically strangling anything different or unusual or quirky for Eurovision, and making sure and the amount of the contest would be so much better if we had like more stuff like that got through, really unique, interesting things. So it's just I am begging people to have a more open mind and to send stuff which is out of the norm. We will get just a much better contest as a result. I'm really mad. I am so mad about this result still.
Yeah, I can see you have a passion. I can feel the passion coming from you. So I hear any questions, by the way, about Slovenia or thoughts at ESC United in the chat. Make sure you tag us so we know. Connor saying Slovenia 2011, 12, and 19 are my favorites of their years. Everything they've said, I've hated. And question to you, Gabe, do you have a favorite Slovenian song?
So ones that jump into my mind, the first one that comes into my mind is Here For You by Mariah, which was catchy. I like that. Was Maya Kuch was Slovenia, right?
Yeah, that was 2011, right?
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. So No One, I enjoyed that a lot at the time. I was like 14, 15 at that point. And I think I had a crush on her in 2011. I was a confused teenager. But no, I really liked that song. That was really good. So I think 2010, 2011, that kind of era, they started getting things right. And it's gone wrong since. Follow Nay, someone mentioned in chat. That was loads of fun. I was lucky enough to see that live. Oh, yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was so good.
That was good, yeah.
That was a lot of fun. And I met her brother, like, just after she'd performed. I bumped into her in the bar at the arena, and he was, like, absolutely brimming with pride. It was adorable.
Oh, that was the semi-show you referring to, and then when you qualified?
Yeah.
Okay, then I can only imagine. That must have been super exciting. The best result, I think, for Slovenia was in 2001, Energy, and I think that's probably still my favorite to this day, even though lyrically is a little bothering me the wrong way, but I love the singer. I love the energy behind the song, for the lack of a better word. And the dueling pianos always works for me. So I think that is still my favorite, but 2011 and 15 are close behind there. So far, Slovenia has never been high up in my ranking. Actually, 2015 initially it was. But other than that, something has to change. But somebody also pointed in the chat, the last time, not counting last year, they chose internally was 2013. Hannah, straight into Love, I think, and that didn't do well either. Didn't they come last even in the semis, if I remember? So I don't know what Slovenia can do. Maybe it's a new team in place, or I don't know. But if that's what the people want to send, you cannot get mad at it either, because people just like that song. And so there is to it, but then they just have to kind of live with the consequences, I guess. And
I can and will get mad at it, though.
Okay, you have a right to do that, I guess.
I'm really mad.
You really like that song. Well, I'm glad, because I missed the national final, and I just went like, oh, let me just check the results real quick. Like, oh. I looked at this wrong. Like, no, I'm looking at this right. So I was just like, whoa.
I mean, it's sort of, and it's like, I mean, you get this sometimes where countries clearly pick the wrong songs.
Yeah.
So basically, the one I can think of is the biggest one, Metana, not getting picked by Albania in 2020 because a single jury member firebombed it.
Oh, yes. Yes, then you can blame Albania's system, but they don't even have televote anymore. They had televote once, as a jury member or something like that, but the televoters have virtually no say in this anyway. So it is a very weird situation. But yeah, it is what it is, I guess. So we have to wait and see. But at this point, I mean, Slovenia is in the first semifinal. What are your chances, percentage-wise, do you think they have a chance of qualifying? Could it be still some odds here? Zero, you think? It's
zero, no chance.
It's going to be a very long road ahead of them, I would agree. I will never say zero, but I will, because, there are songs where I thought it was zero, and then there they are, so I'll give them 2%.
That's very generous. 2.